All right, guys, we are back. It is our second section of this podcast, listening to Joe's story. So, Joe, let's pick up where we left off.
Okay, so where we just left off was I was at the second part of the Philadelphia, Chester, Pennsylvania facility where I was taken after the money burning thing. Mm-hmm. You know, the Green Man Joker incident where I sent that bad text to my friends, and the LL Cool J guys were asking me why I sent it. Anyway, so so I had already seen who I thought was Tupac, never got a chance to talk to him, just had this telepathic kind of connection with him. And then they take me over to the place where the facility proper, where the beds were. And the lady had tried to make me wear a mask. I said, you have to put it on me or I'm not wearing it. And then she just left. I wasn't wearing a mask. It's like, you must wear a mask. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, then put it on me, and then they just disappear. I find that's funny in and of itself.
Because no one else was wearing a mask here. These are crazies, right? Mm-hmm. These are lunatics, and so when I got over there was this lunatic that was always in the scene somewhere. And my feeling was that it was like this Jim Carrey type person that was schizophrenic, and his thing was he was a constant chatterbox. He was just constantly chattering in my ear, somewhere off in left field. In my ear, trying to have a conversation with someone, and he's just like doing his schizophrenic kind of rambling. And it was very, very irritating, right?
I could understand.
And I was thinking, like, this guy represents the mind, and how the mind is always chattering at us. Like, you know.
That is a very good
like
representation.
chatter, just you're trying to have a conversation. What do you think of that?
It's that monkey mind.
And I said, like, and I would say, like, okay, I know what this guy is doing, and I would just point this out and say, like, he is the chatterbox. He is the mind that's constantly chattering at us, driving us crazy.
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly. And that's actually a very real philosophical belief that I share. Joe shares. A lot of Buddhists, Taoists who practice the state of meditation, we call it calming the monkey mind.
Calming the monkey mind, right? So this guy was not calming at all. He was very irritating. And I would look over at him and be like, could you please be quiet? And he would not be quiet. It's like, okay, that's not going to work. So he's always there. He's just always there in the scene, wherever I would move around in this facility. And there was also this girl who was suicidal, depressive. At one point, she tried to hang herself with one of the portable, the telephone. They had telephones around the facility, and she tried to wrap the cord around her neck and hang herself with it. So I was thinking, like, holy fuck. Okay, so the rooms were very dirty, and the room where they said this is your bed was I shared with two other gentlemen who were, for the most part, pretending to be asleep. They were so asleep that they would spend a long time just laying in their beds snoring. So I go in there, and there's two guys in the beds. There's 3 beds. Mine was the closest to the door. There was a shower curtain with like a palm tree on it.
That's very interesting.
A towel over the drain and toilet paper all over the place. So it was very dirty. The whole place was very dirty and decrepit, right?
That's
a nightmare situation. I was thinking, like, this is a hellscape.
That sounds like a hellscape.
A hellscape, right? Like I don't belong here, dude, right? That was my feeling.
Well, you
and
felt
so
right, sir.
I sat in the bed, and then as I'm sitting in my bed, trying to just, like collect my thoughts, an orderly comes in, and he brings me onto the nightstand. He just places a book. Okay?
I've seen this book.
I gotta go get the book. Can you talk to the?
Yeah. So he's going to grab the book right now, because I've seen this book actually myself, you guys, and it is very, very bizarre that this book, with the writing that's in this book, would be left on Joe's nightstand. and he's bringing it over. Let's go take a look here.
The book. So here's the book that he puts on my nightstand. It is The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis. Okay, and I picked it up immediately, and I was thumbing through the pages. Now I read this series, The Chronicles of Narnia, when I was a little kid.
I think we all had that in elementary school. Yeah.
But I only remembered The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Like, this is the last book in the series that C.S. Lewis wrote. Mm-hmm. And I had no real memory of it. Like, I was like, The Magician's Nephew. I had these vague memories of reading these books when I was a kid, but I didn't remember The Last Battle. And here's what's on the cover. It's a unicorn, a white unicorn with a blood-stained horn and a golden necklace around his neck. And I was thinking, like, that is such an interesting kind of image to put on the cover of a book. So it got my attention. So immediately I started thumbing through the pages, and I noticed that it was written. The open cover says, "Merry Christmas, love, Mrs. Klein, 2005 to 2006." Now, I just happen to have two sons that were born in 2005 and 2006.
And that is, to me, I'm telling you guys, like, even now when he just opened it up and said that, it just sent kind of like chills down my spine.
Okay, so as I'm thumbing through the pages without really reading it, I noticed that there's a couple pages with marker written on it. One is page 7, and I'll show you on here. It says Thursday, April 14th, 2022. Now, when I was in this facility, it was a few days after that. It was like maybe April 16th or April 18th when I was in this facility. But the date that it says, April 14th, 2022, was the day I saw that fucking wheel in the sky.
The wheel in the sky.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, like, whoa. This got my attention, and it looked like maybe like little kids writing. And then I keep thumbing through, and then on page 21 it says,
think of the number 21, guys.
It says,
I believe that Jesus's conscience is now
4 years,
6 months. 4 days.
4 days old.
4 days old.
And I didn't know what to make of that, but it said something about Jesus's conscience. Okay.
So that's still very.
That's what it says right there.
Still very interesting, though, that the fact of the matter is that this particular book, this one, was with this writing. And, things like this was just placed on your nightstand.
Yeah, like The Last Battle of all books. Last Battle. And here I'd been thinking for the years prior to this that we were in something like The Last Battle.
Which essentially now we know we've won. But it's it's definitely very just to me, and even if I wasn't your friend and I was an outside source and I was listening to this story, to me, would be very bizarre. It would be very bizarre. And I think the book, and guys, we will drop a link at the end of this to the Rumble video version of this podcast. Yeah. And you guys can see the book firsthand.
Right, if you want to see the writing it for yourself. So I read... Right then and there, I read the first chapter of the book, which is about a donkey and an ape. The ape convinces the donkey to take this lion skin, and he dresses this donkey up in the lion skin. And his idea is that he'll look enough like Aslan, the Messiah, that they can convince enough people that he's like the true Messiah, because he looks like a lion. In other words, they're setting up the narrative for the false Messiah in the first chapter.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. Is just like it just blows. I mean, a lot of you guys, I know that in the consciousness movement, even the awakening movement nowadays. This has kind of been, kind of prophesized that there will be somebody now. I don't personally like to choose the term Antichrist. I think false Messiah is definitely a really good way to put it. But a lot of us who are in this train of thought and who have these philosophical, spiritual, and religious beliefs can all attest and resonate with that first chapter of that book.
Okay, yes. So I didn't know really where to place this whole. They gave me this book. I felt like it was a gift.